Hello there, it's Sean, and this video is a special training that I've made to commemorate and celebrate my 1000 subscribers milestone over here on YouTube. And 1000, it might not be a lot compared to some of your favorite channels, but I understand my viewers, I understand my subscribers. I know that if you are right here, right now on YouTube, and you're watching this video, you're not here for entertainment or to watch some funny videos. You are here because you want to study. You want to study because you want to advance your life. And when you study, you're doing your research, and you're researching because you're doing your due diligence. You're about to enter remote closing, and there's so many options. There's so many different sources teaching different things, and which one should I listen to? It's so overwhelming. How do I navigate? What are my next 3, 5, 7 steps? I don't know. You see, these thoughts that you're having, you're not the only one having them. A lot of us have them. 5 years ago I had them, but 5 years ago there weren't a lot of these teachers guidance solutions on remote high ticket closing. There was none, and so it was very difficult to navigate. The only way I could learn is to invest, and then to find out the hard way that just because you invest your thousands and thousands of dollars, yes, a mentor can help you accelerate and intensify your growth, progress, and results. And that's what I wanted. That's what I've always believed in. Through martial arts, through sports, I know that with a teacher in front of me, I can progress much faster. But a lot of times you do that and then it's not what you expected it to be. So I know. So if this training, you might not know this, but every time you watch my video, every time you subscribe, you comment, you are helping this channel to grow. And when this channel grows, our message gets out to more and more people. So what's happening is we are saving people from wasting their hard-earned time, money, effort, and energy into something that we don't know what's behind. So is it possible that just by consuming this video and my content, you are able to have a clear idea of how to navigate that? If I clear all the clutter, if I clear all the frustration away and have this clear path, that if I just focus on these core pillars that Sean is teaching, I can go out there, navigate on my own, join a good sales team, close high ticket sales, and launch my career. You absolutely can. In fact, a lot of things that you want to learn has to be learned on the job. You have to make mistakes. And you have to learn from those mistakes. So when that happens, and even if it's just the inspiration or the content or something in this video that propelled you to that next step or that next milestone and to get you the wins and the career that you want, come back to this video. Come to the comment section and share your story, share your experience, share your wins. Okay, that way this piece of content can go out there and impact more people. In fact, if you know of a friend, a fellow closer, an appointment setter, a business owner who could benefit from just something you've learned in this video, send them this video. It's karma points for you. It's karma points for me, and then we all are part of this cycle that grows and impacts the world. Why did I create this training? A lot of times when I talk to closers and they tell me about their experience, the first thing or the first 3 things I check are as follows. First, can you do a complete sales call? And some people like to do 1-part call, 2-part call, 3-part call. It doesn't matter. I just call all these as one complete call, okay? Can you do one complete sales call? Have you done a live sales call before? And some of you have physical sales experience. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about inbound, remote, online, high ticket closing. Very specific. Do you have that experience? If you haven't done one complete live call, then how many role plays have you done? How many mock calls have you done? Even if it's just your preparation, even if it's just you, I don't even want to say memorize, but just familiarizing yourself with the full process of rapport, background, goals, pain, the root causes of the pain, the nightmare scenario, the consequences, the urgency, your process, the decision, finances, objections throughout, and then onboarding, the whole process. Are you at least familiar with it? Even if it's just looking at your notes. This is the first thing I check. Because without this, how you close, right? This is the bread and butter. This is the main thing we do. Second thing I check is your brand. And your brand is not your cover photo. Your brand is not your social media. All those things, yes, they are part of your brand, but it's not those things. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, just a network add value, network add value. Exactly how? Because if a network add value is just sending generic messages, I think you probably receive a ton of those yourself in your inbox, in your spam folder. Is that value to you? Is that a memorable and important brand to you? In its essence, if you ask me, brand is about trust. And trust is earned. And you earn it, we earn it, by making a promise and then delivering on that promise again and again and again and again and every single time, to the point where when a company says, now we have leads, now our funnel is on and we're going to station a closer to take calls, take calls, take calls, who can we trust? That is you. Because we can trust you to prepare, research, show up, take calls, deliver. That is your brand. It's your character, your attitude, and how you actually perform. Words, that's easy. An image, that's easy. When you are thrown into the funnel, then everything becomes clear. So the next time you hear, oh, change your cover photo, oh, network add value, you ask yourself, what is brand to you? What is your brand to you? What is trust to you? And how far can this take you when you have earned the trust and reputation that you are a closer that companies can depend on? So is this an important pillar to have? That's the second thing I check. And then the third thing I check is, you know, in a year, there will be at least 2 to 4 months where, I mean, if the company is giving you high quality leads every day, you have 4 to 6 calls to take, that's great. But there will be this 2 to 4 months period every year where, for whatever reason, I don't know, the company, the owners go on vacation, or they pause their funnel to review their ads, or I don't know, for whatever reason, there's just not as many calls as we want to have. And you got to understand that as fully commissioned closers, we don't have a base salary. So the food that we eat comes from calls, comes from leads. And commission-based closers are hungry people. If you have the time, you know, let's say you take 4 to 6 calls a day, and I know how much time that is. Because in between the calls, I know I have time. Before the calls, I know I have time. After the calls, I know that I have time. There's plenty of time. And if you have all this free space, and sometimes when there are no calls to take, and then you have even more time, what will you choose to do with that time? Are you going to complain about the company? Are you going to complain about their funnel? Are you going to complain about their setup? Because if you even have the time to complain or talk or post about these things, then you definitely have the time to either leave and find a better company, or invest in the ability to build your own pipeline. Any closer that can bring their own pipeline to a company that they close for will never have to worry if there are leads being given to me. I am the funnel. I know how to prospect. I know how to build systems. I know how to bring leads closer and closer to a call, and then closer and closer to a sale. This is what I mean when I say strategic setting. So you can do a review. In fact, make an honest self-assessment, an honest self-review. Not just today, but every day, every week, every month, every quarter. Rate yourself upon 10. How strong are you in each of these pillars? Because what some people do is they argue. They say 1 is more important than 2. I don't agree with 3, and 3 is I don't know. Okay, but you ask yourself, if you have the ability to do a full call and you are at like 7 upon 10, you know how to build your own pipeline, you are at a 6 upon 10, and your brand is halfway there, you're at a 5 upon 10. And notice I added an open box behind that represents a open mind. That represents our paradigm. Because our intention, our mindset, our energy, our frequency, it affects everything. If you take 2 closers, you put them side by side. They have the same closing skills, the same setting skills, the same brand. Okay, but one of them, the intention, he's out to serve. The other, his intention, is out to do shortcuts. He's out to take. Who do you think is going to have more success over time? Right? So the issue is not what you agree or disagree with. The issue is not which one is good, which one is bad. The issue is how can you balance yourself so that your closing skills, your selling skills, and your brand allow you to be complete and self-sufficient. The options and the tools are dead. They are neutral. There's no need to judge or identify with them. How a strategic thinker approaches this is the tools are dead, the tools are neutral, the options are neutral. On the day itself, the context of the challenge, that's alive, that's always changing. So I don't want to judge my options. They all have strengths and weaknesses. They all have pros and cons. They all have a time and place. In that second, in that context, how am I going to maneuver my options to create the best series of decisions so that I have the most optimized strategy, the path towards my success? That's how I think about closing. Because in your journey, sure, there might be a lot of teachers, a lot of options for you to learn from. But at the end of the day, you got to have your own system, your own way of processing all these different things so that it is streamlined, it is aligned, and you have your own balance. Okay, so I ask you again, if you can do a complete sales call and you know how to book calls and your brand allows you to filter away unqualified opportunities and allows you to join qualified opportunities, and your mindset, your self-discipline, your schedule, your self-mastery is dialed, are you not a complete closer? The first thing I want to talk about is this brand pillar. At the start, don't overthink it. Where a lot of closers struggle is because they are overthinking it. They want to create. They want to create this grand project. No. It's just social media. It's just an extension of you. And you don't have to be this 6-star content creator. You don't have to be this grand influencer. You can just be yourself. Say your name, say the country you're from, say what you learned today. If there's something you learned even from this video, you can just talk about it. Your raw thoughts, what you learned, even if something negative happened. You have a rejection, you have a failure, you have a roadblock, just talk about it. Just talk about it. Don't try. When you try, it makes things complicated. And there are some people that they go one big circle just to say they are very good. Okay, you have to remember, self-praise is no praise. I get that they want to sell themselves, but the best way of selling yourself is just to document, because it should be who you actually are. Like if I met you in person right now, that's who you are, then you just post that. You just share about what happened. Because this mentality will break that perfectionist thing. This mentality will break that, I cannot make any mistakes. I cannot be judged by my family and friends on social media. I must. These struggles is because of our own attachment. If today I just learn this thing and I just share, that's it. If people want to judge, that's their issue. Okay, so once you have this momentum, it is an honest extension of who you are, which means that if you truly have the heart, if you are truly someone who researches, who studies, who thinks, who prepares, who executes, you think it will not come through your content? You think the companies, the business owners, you think they cannot see it? It's very easy to see. You don't know who's watching, but when you express yourself, it's very easy to see, and companies can tell. This is exactly how I got into a lot of qualified opportunities in my rookie year. Not because I tried to be a brand, not because I tried to be something. I was very transparent. When I was 2 weeks old, I said I'm 2 weeks old. When I had 2 months experience, I said I had 2 months experience. When I make a mistake, I say I make a mistake. Because people don't judge what happened to you. That one cannot be helped. People judge your response to what happened, your choice. Because when you, even if you share a negative thing, you share a loss, you share a rejection, but you talk about 3 things you will choose to improve. You talk about 3 action steps that you could take to make it right. What does it say about your values, your qualities, your character? Because for a lot of companies, myself included, if you talk about skills, experience, that one we can train, that one we can give. But what cannot be taught is character, it's decision, it's professionalism, it's your work ethic. So if you truly are committed to building these things in you and then you share, sure, not the best photo, sure, not the best copy, but you're not here to be a copywriter, you're not here to be a business owner. So even if it's just 2 stars, it's enough. You don't have to be 6 stars, just 2 stars is enough, and companies can tell who is the man or woman behind these content. And because of this, you will build momentum. Because of this imperfect, ugly action, you will build that kind of raw, ugly confidence that I'm going, I'm building, I'm advancing. So wins will start to come, opportunities will start to come, and then you share. And remember, because previously you were very honest when you shared the bad things, so now when you talk about your good things, people believe them because they know that you have already shared your worst. So when you share your wins, they know it's real. And from here, you use your wins to start calling out your ideal client. Your ideal client is a business owner who has a qualified remote high-ticket offer that already sells well. As case studies, you call them out. You talk about their problems. You talk about the closer that they want, which is yourself. And then you cycle through better and better teams. And you use this cycle to propel your closer career forwards. This is how you advance with your brand. So the next time someone says, just change your cover photo, just network add value. Okay, you got to understand that these are all very superficial theories that is not practical steps for you to advance your career. What I've just shared with you, phase 1 and phase 2, is something that you can do immediately today. Even if you don't fully know how, the fact that you have that in you to execute, to do the things I mentioned, it already says so much about you as a person. It's not, by this point, it's not even about your brand. It's just an extension of who you are. By this point, you're already showing who you are and what you're committed to. And that is a very powerful quality to have. A lot of you will have questions like, then how can I get opportunities? How can I get qualified opportunities? If you ask me, okay, what I've done, what my students are doing: passive, active, proactive. Passive, active, proactive. This is from your brand. Okay, I want to talk about the passive side of things first, because for a start, okay, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. These three platforms, okay, from the search function itself, from the algorithm recommending you connections itself, from hashtags itself, from groups, from posts, from the connections of your connections, the whole thing is sufficient for you today to find 10, 20, 50 opportunities and land one, even if you started today. This is what you can do with social media. Any kid, even in the 20s, in their teens, if they wanted to, they could do it right now. You know how fast social media is. If you really, really want to develop yourself, I will say YouTube. Because video, when you train yourself to do video, you take a closer who's never done a video, okay, versus a closer who practices on video. A lot of our sales calls now is on video calls. It trains your ability to study, research, prepare, synthesize, express yourself coherently, convincingly, with substance. It makes you so much more legit. And I recommend having a central place. Either a one-page website. If you don't want to do a one-page website, you can refer to mine at seansena.com/demo. That is DEMO. If not, just an ugly one-page Google Doc is fine, because it's the content that matters. What is the content? You want to show your sales calls recordings. You block out any sensitive information, but you want to upload like 3 of your best sales calls. If you don't have, then 3 of your best role plays. And then, if you have booked calls before, or you've sold something on text before, screenshot, upload. If you have testimonials, upload. If you have business owners that you've worked with before, that they talk about you, they praise you, or you've earned commissions, you've closed sales, all these things, organize them neatly in a flow that makes sense on your one pager, and links to all your other social media as well. Okay, when you have this, first of all, it says so much about you as a professional. It says so much about your ability to think, network, that you get this space. Compare that to a closer who has nothing, or like generic stuff. Who would you trust in your company? And then when it comes to the active side of things, quantity for sure is needed. You cannot tell me that 1 month you just scout for one opportunity and then that's it. Okay, for me to find all the A grade, great opportunities, you know how many good opportunities I've had to go through? You know how many weak offers I've had to sift through and qualify, disqualify? The quantity itself, the amount of frogs that you have to kiss, the mileage, the due diligence, the quantity definitely has to be there. But then if it's just numbers, if it's just quantity without the quality, then the numbers cannot compensate for the quality. What is the quality? The quality, a lot of it goes into your preparation, your research, your intention. Okay, are you here just to make a couple of calls, quickly make a few grand? Or are you here to be a professional salesperson that is a master at connecting proven amazing offers to prospects and clients that need solutions? And you're the master at matching the two. What is your intention? So when we talk about quality and being proactive, okay, this one is about the proactive side of things, and you apply, right? You find an opportunity, or you create an opportunity, or you have a connection and you go. You say, okay, it's time to make a connection, build a relationship, and then join a new sales team. What you'll find is the majority of closers, they apply and then they wait. They apply and then they sit back and they do absolutely nothing. And there's like 50 other candidates who are in the competition pool, and a lot of them are doing the same thing as well. So where does your name end up? Where does your application end up? Where does your contact end up? Then you have another group of closers who apply and then they mess up the whole thing. Either on the interview they did not record the call, so I have no idea what happened on the call, or they say things that they shouldn't say and they appear unprepared. They did not research, they did not prepare, they look lost, and they're not ready for the tests and challenges that happen on interviews. If you meet with the interview, if you meet with a business owner, that is an interview. That's your first meeting. And you're already there to sell them on why you should continue to be there. So the right way to do this is to apply and then be proactive. And value is not just words. Okay? From the way you show up, did you research the company? Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know what other offers they have? Have you been through their funnels? Do you know what funnels they have? Do you know what their client or prospects experience and go through? Do you know their client success stories? Do you know why they created this company? Do you know what are the bottlenecks and problems they might have in the company? Did you play detective? And from all your research, did you prepare something to give or solve as a sign of goodwill, as a sign of you know what's going on, as a sign of you're not the other 50 candidates who did not do anything, something, anything? As a business owner myself, and I do not want any one of you watching this to come and pitch me, because I make my money from closing. I am still actively closing full time, so I'm not looking to hire a setter or closer. In fact, I want you to go out there and close for dating niches, fitness niches, marketing, solar panels. Okay, do the full circuit. Don't become one of those closers that do a closer program and then immediately close closers to join closer programs to do closing. Okay, go and get real, legit B2C, B2B experience. Okay, so don't pitch. And if you are a true student of my work, you will not pitch. Okay, but as a business owner myself, I know when 10 people apply and then 7 of them apply and then they just wait and do nothing. And then 2 of them apply and then they mess up the whole thing. And there's just that one of them who knows my company, who knows why I started this company, who knows all my funnels, who knows all my assets, who knows all my client results, who knows the bottlenecks and the areas I need help with, and they came prepared with something. Even just the effort or intention itself, okay? Out of these 10 candidates, if you were me, who would you choose? Who would you trust? Who would you train? Who would you bet on? You get the picture? So once you're in the team, like I said, in a year, there will be that 2 to 4 months that you have leads and then you don't have leads. And like I said earlier, we are commission-based closers. So our income depends on the calls that we take. The calls that we take comes from the calls that we get or we create. Do you want to be a closer that can only wait for calls? Or do you want to be a closer that knows how to create calls? In the first place, if you are a closer, can I say that you should have the skill to close someone to get on a call with you? Are you not doing that when you connect with business owners? Are you not closing them to get on an interview with you so that you can qualify them as well? Isn't that not closing? So if you ask me, I want to have the ability to book my own calls. Okay, and what do these dots represent? The dots on the left, they're messy, they're unorganized, they are just like any company. Any company who has a qualified offer. Their social media, their Facebook, their LinkedIn, their YouTube, their Instagram, their TikTok, their email, their Telegram, their inbox, past leads that didn't close everywhere. Okay, there will be hundreds and thousands of leads and prospects orbiting around all these various touch points. If it is a platform that allows for content, engagement, and the ability to send a direct message, which is pretty much every social media platform, unless maybe YouTube, but most of them allow for content, engagement, and texting. If that is the case, that is a touch point. If it's a touch point, there will be leads. If they are leads, there is a path towards more help, more growth, more success. So imagine a closer comes in and he says, and I want to use as my own company as an example. Okay, but don't pitch me. I'm not hiring. I have so many leads, unattended in my Facebook group, my email inbox, my Instagram, and I'm not attending to them because I'm closing for someone else. But imagine if I put out a hiring post and a closer comes to me and says, Sean, I know you're running ads, I know you're spending thousands of dollars to book these high quality calls. I'm not here to ask for them. I'm here to tell you that all these unattended leads, lost leads, leads on your social media, leads in your pipeline, I am the guy that's able to congregate them, to organize them, to streamline them, to bring them into your pipeline and move them one step closer to a sales call, and then closer, if it's a fit, to become your client. Imagine if you were that guy. Imagine if you had that skill. Imagine if your brand had that reputation that even yourself, you know that you are a complete closer. Which company doesn't want someone like that? And now, when I actually want to hand off my high quality leads, my best leads, who do you think I would trust? You or the person who has just been complaining about quality of leads? So do you see how important it is to complete yourself as a closer? The whole thing is closing. From the moment you make a connection, to selling them on the value of the next step, to selling them on the value of the call, to enrolling them into the offer, the whole thing is closing. Why do you want to isolate the last part? When they're ready to put money down, then you say, oh, that is closing, that is the enrollment. No, the whole process is closing. Okay? So when you actually get the lead on the call, and now it's time for you to perform, okay? It doesn't matter what the funnel is. It could be a webinar, an ebook, a VSL. It doesn't matter how many parts the sales call is, 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. The essence of all that happens in marketing and sales, the essence inside any funnel, the essence inside any sales call, at its heart, it's always this big 3 sales that we have to make. The first sale, number 1, is selling them on a problem that's significant, critical, urgent, important, must solve now. This is the first sale. The second sale is your signature unique process that other competitors don't have, that you have, that has been proven to work, that's unique to you. Is the prospect sold on your unique signature process? Because if by the time they get on a solution call and they have not been educated or nurtured in terms of the problem and the process, and then we as closers, we have to be the marketer, we have to be the funnel, we have to be the closer, all in what? 40 minutes. Do you think that there will be time? And if you met someone, a total stranger online, for just 40 minutes the first time, and immediately you have to put like 7K down, paid in full, would you do it? So the whole process of building trust, the whole process of building understanding, the education and the nurturing, it has to exist in the marketing and in the sales process. If you join a company and they're like, you gotta just get on a 40-minute call right now and take down 7-10K because we ran ads, that's not a qualified company. Their marketing and sales is not established. They probably don't have enough sales to back that up. So as a closer, you cannot be like one-dimensional and just say, oh, I'm just going to do the enrollment part. You got to understand the whole process of the buyer's journey from the moment a lead becomes a lead and they're cold. How do they become warm and how do they become hot? Because this, we're talking about the quality of the lead. And if you as a closer, you don't understand what goes into nurturing and enhancing that quality, then are you a closer? Or you're just a credit card taker, a money taker? No, right? You have to understand the full journey. And at its heart, the journey, the process in a funnel, in a sales process, is not ClickFunnels, you know. It's not even a sales page. It's none of those things. In its essence, what's really happening, when I say strategic closing, the essence of closing, the art of close, in its essence, it's a psychological journey. It's not even the sales page or a hardware or the thing. It's a psychological journey for the prospect in their buyer's experience, in their buyer's journey. How nurtured, educated, convinced, aware that I have a problem that I must solve now. This is the first sale. Am I sold on your unique signature process? That's the second sale. That's why what I always suggest is a two-part call, where the first call is a 15-minute triage to check if the prospect is problem and process aware. Because if they're not, why do I want to do a whole 40-minute call? And then I have to do the marketing, I have to do the educating, I have to do all the heavy lifting, and then, oh, no sale. If in 15 minutes I can check and I'm aware that they are not ready, I can push them back for more preparation, for more nurturing, for more training, so that we know if it even makes sense to have that full 40-minute call. Because I can tell you, when you're taking 4, 10, 7 calls a day, you don't have time to do so many 40-minute unqualified calls. It's a complete waste of your time and your energy. So the effective way to do it is to look at the psychological journey and say that up to this point, what do you understand? What are you already aware of? What are you sold on? The 3 psychological sales of any funnel and any sales call. Okay, so I hope this process is clear, because at the end of the day, you as a closer, I as a closer, the whole essence of the sale is whether we can close a prospect on these 3 pillars. If you don't get a sale, one of these pillars are missing. If you got the sale, all 3 pillars were fulfilled. So, to conclude, anything that you learn and you continue to learn from this point onwards, or the experience you get, okay, don't be confused by the labels. Don't be confused by the different styles and systems. Don't be confused by the learning curve. Okay, use today's training as a foundation, as your new lenses to say, whatever I learned today, what can be deposited or what can be categorized into my closing skills? What goes into my ability to book calls and grow my pipeline, my independent pipeline for myself. What goes into my brand, trust, and reputation? What goes into my mindset, my paradigm, my schedule, my self-discipline, my motivation? So you categorize based on your folders. You categorize based on your principles. And then whatever you learn, you don't have to judge. Everything has its strengths and weaknesses. Everything is neutral. There is a time and place for everything. So you have to be flexible and flow and absorb what works for this principle. And then if it's not relevant, you just put it aside. Okay, you don't have to identify with it. I hope that what I've presented today gives you a very clear and simplified picture of what to do, because the clarity and the simplicity is what's going to help you move forward. If you are, beating yourself up over how can I do this? Let me be clear that a lot of this how, it's learned from experience. A lot of this how cannot be learned from video. The more of those courses and things that you buy and you don't know what's inside, the more theories that they teach, the more confused you're going to get. What we do is not a very complicated thing. It's not some complicated math. It's not some complicated examination that we have to take. It's sales. It's online stuff. In fact, a lot of the things that I'm telling you right now can only be learned in the field, on the job itself. You must join teams. You must get actual experience. How do you think I learn all these things I teach? A lot of these things, you must make mistakes. You must make mistakes. You must examine your relationship with mistakes, your definition of a mistake. If you think that it is bad, if you think it hurts you, you'll never make a mistake. But if you tell yourself there's no such thing as a mistake, it is a result, and the result teaches me a lesson, and the lesson allows me to improve. So once you see these things as green dots, as opportunities, you will not hesitate to make your first 200, 500, 1000 so-called mistakes first. Because these are not mistakes, these are experience points, and a lot of these things can only be accumulated as experience points. And you have to learn from those mistakes. You don't make them and then you don't learn. You must make them. Today, go and make your first 20 mistakes. Okay, and then you must learn from them. There's no point if you make them, you don't learn. And you are repeating something again and again, and that's like the same day every day. So no. Put yourself out there, build up your brand, execute, join teams. Sure, the first team you join might not be that ideal. So that's your first wave of experience. You're going to use that and re-inject and reinvest them back into your brand, your setting, your closing, your paradigm. Then that attracts a better team. And then you're going to have your second win, your third win, your fifth win, and then your third team. You're going to move up to your 10th win, your 15th win, and then you keep cycling upwards and upwards, and you keep advancing onwards, onwards, and onwards. This process that I've just described, you cannot learn it from a video. So what I hope I've done today is to clear the clutter and bring the clarity, and from the clarity you derive that confidence. Because now you know what are the core pillars, and it's what you can deposit in there that allows you to be faster, better, and stronger. That's what counts. One thing I hope you can do right now is really to consolidate your thoughts. Consolidate the insights, the principles. A lot of the how and the what you will learn in the team itself. But today, the things that you've absorbed today, I want you to put it in the comments. It's for me to read, it's also for you to sort out your thoughts, and as well as your next 3 action steps that you're going to take from here. And as always, if you have a question, you have a comment, you have a feedback, type them below, send them my way. And once again, if you know of someone that needs to hear what you've just seen and heard today, send them this video. And if you want to check out more of my work, you can head over to SeanSena.com. That's my personal website. I'm sure there are links all over the description, and then you can explore and enjoy and consume more of the content that I've created if you enjoy today's session. To conclude, I hope that you can take what you've learned from today's training, internalize it, apply it, execute on it, go to companies and show them why you're different from the average generic closer who doesn't understand the essence and the principles, but you are there to be an agent of value. You are there because of your character and your work ethic. You are there because you are an asset. And then you close them. You close for them, and then you get your wins, and then I will see you down the road. Until next time, it's Sena, and I'll see you in my next video.